Overall standings after 2 events, CrossFit Yas, 2 first-place finishes in day 1, 200 points to their name. And then we have our Swedes rounding out 2 and 3, Solid and Nordic. Turicum out of Switzerland and Virtuosity, Reykjavik, rounding out your top 5. But look down the list to 10. It is close, close, close. And with 3 events today, anything can happen. But on day 1, CrossFit Yas, 2 first-place finishes. What more can you say?
And basically, so here's a look at what Team Yas did. They were really cohesive as a team, good on the chest to bar pull-ups, which would be giving so many teams problems. They were fast on the bar, good transitions and solid communication, both on the snatches and a little bit later in the day on the thrusters. On the rope climbs, we alluded to the fact that it was important that everybody had solid technique, and they sure did. Here they are finishing up, and they're a team to look for.
Heat 3 making their way onto the competition floor as they are going to try to get a new best time. Obviously would be nice, but an event record even better. And the team event 3 get in a little more detail with Rory McKernan.
Team event 3 is a relay of running and wall ball shots. This event begins with all 6 teammates on the starting mat. At the sound of the beep, the first female will move to the treadmill and begin running. Once she completes 0.5 miles, she exits the treadmill and tags the first male athlete, who will enter and begin their 0.5 miles on the treadmill, while the female advances to the rig and completes 50 wall ball shots. When she finishes her last rep, she moves to the finish mat, and the first male athlete may advance to his 50 wall ball shots after completing his run and tagging the next woman. This pattern continues for the second pair, who will each run 0.4 miles and perform 40 wall ball shots, and the third pair, who will each run 0.3 miles and perform 30 wall ball shots. If at any point the lead athlete has not completed their wall ball shots by the time the next athlete is finished with their run, the rear athlete will remain on the treadmill until the lead athlete has finished their last wall ball shot and moved to the finish mat. The team score for this event is their total time to complete the work and move to the finish mat. The time cap is 20 minutes.
Your top 10 teams are set and ready to go. Your top 5 out of day number 1 will be in your middle lane, so 3 through 7. As team event 3, the third and final heat of the first event of day 2 is underway. CrossFit Yas sitting in first place and lane number 5 to start the day. Sending out first female athletes, female to male order all the way 1 through 6. Kicking things off with a half-mile run on that true form runner.
And look in lane number 6, Helena Falk from CrossFit Solid. Now she has got good cadence, tight midline, and she's running really, really fast on that. We saw before in the heat before that the athletes that had, or the teams that had a female athlete who was able to come off fast did really, really well. And I mean, that's what you're looking for here. CrossFit Yas looking just as good as they did yesterday, confident and strong on the treadmill. But I'm looking out for lane number 6, CrossFit Solid right here with that kind of start.
Athletes starting on the true form, at least 1 through 4. Their coach is probably telling them that your whole goal is to get off that true form runner and get the rest of the team started, especially for these first athletes.
Absolutely. I mean, the worst thing that could possibly happen is to have an athlete get up there and just kind of mellow it out. This is not the time nor the place, and it's not what anybody trained for. So you want to get up there, you want to create a hole, and you want to make sure that the rest of the team holds on to the leads that you built.
90 seconds in, and your team leaders coming into day number 2. Yas will be sitting in lane number 5.
And Facundo was in the back talking to CrossFit Yas, and they were basically saying that they had measured other regionals against a time. They put up kind of a simulation center back home where they tried the workouts and then looked at the times and what they could improve, compared them to the other teams. But at the end of the day, they kind of come back to the fact that it was all about the communication, transitions, and taking one workout at a time, and not reacting, or not counting on the fact that the next workout's going to be the good one. Go out there and do what you can do on this one. We'll grab the next one when it shows up.
Past the 2-minute mark for Heat 3, event number 3. 20-minute cap on this event itself. So you're 2.5 minutes in. The event record was set last weekend at the California Regional. The time was a blistering 17:12.6. The first athlete was off the true form at about 3:55. So we're within a minute to a minute and 15 seconds to see if any of these teams can at least set the pace for an event record. We saw Butcher's Lab in the previous heat. They're actually ahead of event record through their first 3 athletes, but that they end up missing the event record by 90 seconds. So, like you said before, it takes all 6.
And like we talked about before, CrossFit Solid, Helena Falk in lane number 6. Her judge has his hand in his ear. Now CrossFit Yas comes up as well. And it's if you can maintain good speed, good form on this thing, it is fast.
And lane 6 in the pink top and gray shorts in a time of 3:27. So, Mads, that is 30 seconds ahead of event record pace.
And she is a fast athlete. She was a part of the Taken team last year. She's super fast, and she's a very, very, very let's just call it tenacious and stubborn athlete. She does very, very well once it gets it starts sucking hard. That's kind of her kind of world.
So she's done half the job. She got off the true form in blistering pace. Yas and Nordic are both under event record pace. So we have 3 teams, 4, 5, 6 under event record pace. But in lane 6, half the work is done. Now their main job now is just to get out of the way. They don't have to go fast on these wall ball shots, but they can't go slow.
Exactly. And the important thing is, the beauty of this workout, like we talked about before, is that everybody has to work. So it's all about how you play your workout. But it's also, let's say that you're ahead of event record. You're going really fast. You've got 4 athletes, and here's your weak link. It's going to get flushed out. You can't hide it anymore like you could before, when you could kind of place good athletes and good workouts, and then it was gone. Not anymore.
Be interesting to see how that 30-second buffer holds up as their second athletes are on to the true form. Your next time check is 2 minutes from now. So our time at the top left corner of your screen, 4:48 just passed. 6:48 was the time the male athlete of NorCal got off of the true form runner, and that's under the assumption that our first athletes are out of the way for the wall ball shots.
Yeah. So Nordic Alpha, Camilla Salomonson-Hellman right here has moved up into the lead. Now, these leads are going to change as we go through the day. However, Camilla is one of these athletes that I'm really happy to see here. She was at the regionals last year. She did injure her shoulder on the snatch, and here she is coming back really, really strong. Of course, I'm happy for her as a team and for her team, but I'm even more happy just for her to get through the surgery she had to do and then get back to this event. This is what we're all about, right?
It'd be interesting to see how that stacks up, if there's any trepidation going into this afternoon, because we do have that 1 rep max snatch back for the teams.
Exactly. There may be a ghost or two coming into her game plan, but at the same time, she's with a confident team, and I think they know where to put her, so to speak. Another interesting little thing is that Reykjavik Virtuosity in lane number 2 has actually got, so CrossFit Nordic has Numi Katrinason. His wife has a twin sister, and she's in lane number 2 right now for the other Reykjavik team.
Your early leaders, CrossFit Solid. Lane number 6. Your early leaders, as Nordic is off the wall balls ahead of Yas and Solid. Now it's up to their male to get off the true form. So Nordic did what they needed to do. She's out of the way. The problem is in lane 6 is that Solid, who was ahead of event record pace, Their female didn't do the second part, which is to get off the true form, as Yas and Nordic will move into that first and second place position.
And we've got the Dutch in lane number 1 as well. They just kind of snuck in. Sanne Roymans right there just snuck in and finished hers. So now they're waiting for the male athlete to get off the treadmill.
And how about this? 30 seconds ahead of event record pace getting off the true form. 30 seconds behind event record pace getting off the wall ball shot. So you got to have both. You can't just run fast.
Absolutely, and it speaks volumes of the event record right now. It was put up there by some very capable and competent athletes, definitely. They didn't take it easy once they came off the true form. They continued to just haul ass.
Top teams from 3 to 6 in the middle lanes. The time to beat Butcher's Lab set in heat number 2, 18:18. Second place time was close behind them, just 7 seconds off. So event record after one place we thought was in trouble, might not be in trouble now, but now this time to beat 18:18 is the next time they have their sights on.
Exactly, and initially these teams are competing against other teams in this regional, so the event record is a nice to have, but it's not super important for them. Once you're in the lead, needless to say, you're going to know what the event record is. However, their eyes on the ball right now is just going to be against the other teams right now.
All male athletes onto the rig as their third female is on the true form runner. And speaking about what that true form runner can do to an individual, Amanda Krentz talked to one of the teams about the true form in Heat 1 who ended up winning that heat, Cape CrossFit.
Chase, Cape CrossFit said they were thankful that they had some practice on a true form before they came to compete today. They said they found a true form near their box. They were able to practice 3 different times, and they learned a lot about their running form during those practices. They said they were all bending too far forward at the hips and looking down when they were running, and this really forced them to improve their running posture. It was a difficult learning experience, but they were so happy to have it before they came out here and competed today.
Now the practice, it sounds like there's a lot of technique involved. How did they compare the true form to regular running?
Well, they said it was a lot more difficult. It took a lot more out of them because they are propelling that belt. They said to get moving wasn't the hardest part, but to keep that belt moving and to keep their speed consistent was not just hard on their legs. They definitely felt the fatigue in their legs. They said it was burning their lungs too, which made those wall balls afterwards all the more difficult. And then you can see these athletes when they're running to the finish mat, their legs are just toast. That's probably the hardest part of the workout for them, is getting from the wall balls to the finish mat.
Thanks, Amanda. And as Team Yas holding on to an early lead, behind them, Solid. So Solid, who jumped ahead 30 seconds of event record pace, well, their male athlete picked up the slack because now both teams are back on event record pace as their female athletes are getting off right around 9:40. 9:44 was that time check. So a little bit of going back and forth.
Absolutely, and the athlete in the CrossFit Solid team is Alexander Elebro. Now, he is renowned to have an engine matching his impressive physique, so to speak. He's a really competent runner, and once you got him on the true form, he just felt at home. He said it, we talked about it before the event, and he's like, no, this is all right, I just need to go fast. And apparently he did, because they sure caught up. At the same time, what happened was that CrossFit Nordic, Simon Adrian got off the wall ball so fast and kind of left a hole there for Jenny Jacobson on the true form to make up before she could pass on to the wall balls.
Your top 2 teams, lane 5, lane 6, Yas and Solid, have been going back and forth 1, 2, and 3 as their 4th athlete is on the true form runner for 0.4 miles. The event record back in play, 17:12. The time check we're really focusing on is when, obviously if the girls get out of the way for wall ball shots, is when the men will get off the true form. 12:02. So 12:02 is the event record time check. Keep your eye on the left top corner of your screen. We're about 11:20, so 40 seconds from now we'll see if these men can keep that pace going for lane 5, lane 6, Yas and Solid.
And we've seen before that weight matters on the true form, and look at some of the athletes down there on the true forms right now. You've got Hugo's on it right here from Hugo Rosas from CrossFit Nordic. He's a heavy guy. You've got a couple of heavy guys here from Idle and PBM as well. So they're propelling through this. And not forgetting Felix Ledin from CrossFit Solid with the flower in his hair. He said it yesterday. It's a Jedi mind trick, but he's a heavy boy and he's propelling that band.
12:03 is the split. 1 second off event record pace for Yas. Solid just behind them. They have to take a break because their female athlete having some trouble with the wall ball. So their female athletes for Solid, fantastic on the true form, cannot seem to get it together on wall ball shots.
And we're in the same boat with CrossFit Nordic. Jenny Jacobson is not done with her wall balls yet. Hugo Rosas is still waiting on the true form right now. And Jenny Jacobson is she's finding it hard. I think her legs have given in just a little bit.
So as Solid and Nordic are hamstrung by their female athletes, not even within 5 reps of finishing their round of 40, lane 5 Yas is pulling away. They got off the true form a minute ago, so they have extended their lead on Nordic and Solid by over a minute just because their athletes can't do 40 wall ball shots.
Yes, and that's what we talked about. You're going to flush them out. You are going to flush out the weak points. And now you see Jenny Jacobson trying to make it back to the finish line right now, and her legs are fried. So tapping in Hugo Rosas for Team Nordic. I think that's going to be a lot faster. You got CrossFit Solid looking really good in lane number 6, but CrossFit Yas, I mean, I'm impressed with these athletes.
CrossFit Yas, final 5 reps on their 40 wall ball shots as Solid and Nordic finally get their male athlete onto the wall. And in lanes 8 and 9 on the right side, Fabriken and Idle, with that minute and a half stoppage for Solid and Nordic, they've moved themselves up into 2nd and 3rd. But Yas in lane 5, there's no male there anymore because he's already done with 40 wall ball shots as their 5th athlete on pace, 1 second behind after their 4th, 6 seconds ahead for their 5th.
And I'm just going to throw it out there. You do have some more athletes down here, some more teams that are going to do good. I mean, CrossFit Fabriken looks like they're catching up as well. They're not the leaders yet, but they had, I called them out to begin with, said they were going to be a promising team. They are a promising team, and they were not discouraged by the start they got yesterday. I like that.
5th female on for most, last for a couple of your top teams as our pylons moving their way across the competition floor, designating where these teams are. But in lane 5, left side of your screen in the blue and black, Yas, who missed an event record yesterday by 10 seconds. They are on pace as their last athlete is on the true form. Their 5th athlete having a little trouble, though, with these wall ball shots. We're looking for the male athlete or their last anchor leg to get off the true form. 16:03 is the time check to look for as Yas is on their final 15. 15:20, so about 40 seconds before that final time check.
So the referee's hand hasn't gone up yet, which means that now it does. Okay, so now it's starting to look like we may have something on our hands if that female athlete can finish up these wall balls really, really fast. Stay in that dark place and go.
Yas in lane 5, center of the rig, 10 shots away. Their final anchor is done. So he is looking on from the true form. Is Yas in lane 5, hand in the air, and it is going to be close. So they are about 16:03 is the time check. And with one more rep remaining and a no rep, that is costly. 2 in a row for Yas.
Another
3
one.
in a row. I'm sorry, there's no excuse for that.
No, not at this point. And you know she's hating herself for that.
She has done about 7 wall ball shots and have been counted for 1.
There you go, she's done.
So what could have been an event record just got completely blown out of the water. There's nothing this male athlete can do. Now, event record aside, they're still in position to get a the third first place finish for Yas. So they were close, but if they can close out these last 30,
Absolutely.
the event record 17-12, not even going to be close.
And what happens when an athlete hits the wall like that is usually your legs start getting fried, your timings get off, and the referees are hard on you right here, which they should be, because we're all judged across the world, same criteria, hit the wall ball target, not the edge. And what happens, your legs get fried, shoulders get fried, the ball doesn't get all the way up, and there you go.
10 reps remaining for CrossFit Yas. They've been your early leaders all day with a shot at the event record, but more importantly for them in this regional, they are 5 reps away from their third first place finish at the Meridian Regional. Idle in lane 9, moving into second place, but it'll be 17:42. CrossFit Yas add another 100 points to that 200-point total.